Thanks for watching my first cast. Got an Eldar mirror match. So going through like our elite choices, my strategy revolves around controlling the middle point, because that's the elite point generator, and I think elites are the most powerful part of the game. If you can produce more better elites than your opponent, you're going to win the game. So at that end I've got Maka, who's a staple, and then we've got
the Avenger Shrine shall send its warriors.
I do not have warp spiders. What's going on? Well, in any case, I have the Taldir, and the two of them are like really effective nukers, taking out huge amounts of units at once, and which is good for me because I have a huge weak point of large amounts of units. Just like micro problems as I'm still learning the game. So my strategy here was, didn't show you, but these guys can teleport. So I cross this gap here, and I capture this elite point generator right off the hop, and I'm going for a fairly standard build order from what I know. 2 units of Dire Avengers, capping points, getting early map control, and then a second Bone Singer to cap things back at home. Just turn this Fog of War off. Now, what I was completely unprepared for was him not building any Dire Avengers at all, not even going out into the map, but rushing this console. I've never seen that before. I was completely unprepared for it. These consoles, they have heavy armor. You see, it takes a ton of time for these Banshees to take it out. But this guy, Archangel, he's using Dark Reapers, which are they deal true damage, so they're as effective against normal armor as they are against vehicle armor. It's a very good option for taking these out. This is a huge fumble, by the way, for me. He's completely forfeited map control off the top, and I completely neglect to take the bottom and take advantage of those resources, because I'm too focused on hunkering down on these 2 points. Now, I do undervalue this because it is only 1 requisition point, and I think requisition is definitely the most important part of the early game, because all your units cost tons of requisition early on. Power you don't need to worry about until you're in Tier 2. And I think, from what I know about the Eldar matchup, it's kind of won or lost in Tier 1 with the Dire Avengers and Banshees. As for the doctrines are like kind of global bonuses to these units. I have improved shields for my Dire Avengers, improved grenades for my Dire Avengers, and improved Banshee Howl. Now, these 2 I'm very comfortable with. This was just kind of a lazy choice. I don't know how good it actually is. It probably represents like about 20% more shields. I don't have the actual numbers on that. It doesn't amount to much, but these are kind of my bread and butter. And here, we've got the bridge already broke down, and I'm completely unprepared for 2 Banshees and Dark Reapers. So basically, I'm just playing for time. Almost land that grenade, that's not easy. Getting some Banshees out on reaction, moving these Dire Avengers down. Yeah, can't save these Dire Avengers. I was just trying to slow them down and protect the listening post as long as possible. In the meantime, Archangel's not really using his money effectively. Not sure what his plan is here. So yeah, takes out the listening post. Does not quite finish off the elite point generator. I don't know how much this matters, but kind of sloppy, but also kind of funny. This Banshee gets laid with nothing. Slightly disappointing. Alright, and here I think, alright, I've kind of held off the worst of this pressure. And then he's got Striking Scorpions, which are really, really good early game dominant melee units. I don't generally use Striking Scorpions because I play for very much like a mid-game mid-game to late-game strategy, and I find they're very underwhelming in the late game. And I find I can generally play around the 2-cost elites. Striking Scorpion is definitely the weakest. I didn't even scout what elites he was using, so I was totally unprepared for this. In the meantime, I'm just rebuilding my army real slow. Controlling the elite point generator definitely was to my advantage though, because I've already got 3 elite points when he was still on 2. And we got Maka. Maka is incredible. So first thing she can do, she's got that burst that not only deals a bunch of AoE damage, but also gives her damage reduction. So she's not going to win this fight, because this is melee units against a range unit. But she could take him out of the action for a long time. And there we go, that's stasis. That's the other dumb part of Maka. She can just basically do timeout with the units. She herself is still vulnerable, so if you can attack her without moving into the stasis area, or drop like a knockback effect on her, you can knock her out of it prematurely. And this is a good strategy with the Banshees, is moving them into the stasis so they can't be hurt while I've got an army advantage here. Doesn't look like I have an army advantage, but these Dark Reapers are really vulnerable to Banshees and grenades. That's kind of my saving grace this game, and keeping me from losing as slow as possible. So yeah, this is pretty much a complete route. My micro is quite terrible, but I've still got like decent map control. He's not like I'm way ahead on requisition, and he's not using his power generator, so he doesn't have much of a resource advantage. And there we go. It's just me kind of throwing away Maka. Yeah, just kind of sloppy play. Kind of got a lull now, so it's a good time as any to go through Archangel's elite choices. So as already said, Striking Scorpion's very powerful in the early game. Maka is basically a linchpin or a crutch, however you look at it, in Eldar strategies. I think they can undo basically every rush strategy, and she's really good in the late game too, because her second chance basically gives your elites a bit of extra health and stasis when they're about to die. Okay, so we got a bunch of Banshees pushing in, and I walk right past them because I want to attack too. Luckily there isn't much damage for the Banshees to do, because the building's got a lot of health. Listening Post is going to go down, but let's see what my... Yeah, I've got a lot of requisitions, so that's not like a big deal unless they get the nodes, but I don't think that's going to happen. Setting up Webblade Gate here. This does a lot of things. I'm a huge fan of them, and I was kind of sloppy not getting it sooner. So first, within this blue area here, it's going to increase shield regeneration and increase movement speed. Secondly, you can later teleport units through Webway gates. I haven't really worked that into my strategy in 1v1 because I find the maps are fairly small, and if you have decent Webway gate control, you can usually just run units from one side of the map to the other. It's just something I haven't managed to work in yet. There's a so-so grenade, like... Really the only reason I'm holding here is because I've got, like, decent Guardian micro, and there's the Banshees get bonus shield. I do not think the bonus shield effect is very good. And here we have just, like, kind of the turtle meta in effect here, because it's just so hard to take out somebody's base in the early game, because buildings have heavy armor, take like no damage from most of these attacks, and I can just like keep pumping guys out. You'll notice I'm losing way more units on this guy at pretty much every point in the game. That's yeah, no real excuse for that. Anyways, another lull. Back to Archangel's choices here. So he's got the Wraith Knight. The Wraith Knight, I think, is the best 9-point elite in the game. I'm biased because I'm an Eldar player, obviously, but its nuke ability takes out these cannons in one hit, and these turrets are a huge bitch to kill. And just being able to walk through that part and go for and push on their base immediately can end the game out of nowhere for your opponent. If you're trying to conserve elite points, which is usually my strategy, But this guy's keeping me on my heels pretty much the entire game, so I don't really have that luxury. As for his doctrines, he goes very hard into Banshees with Improved Scream, which is basically a staple, and Banshee Rage, which I said, doesn't seem very good, because Banshees only really seem to do damage in significant numbers, and when you have like 2 or 3 squads of Banshees like tearing stuff up, they're splitting the kills all amongst each other, and it's really difficult for them to get 6 kills. This Reaper Focus, I don't really know what this is about. I guess he was expecting... Okay, so that's the other thing that Maka's spear does. It does so much damage that basically regular, like, line infantry just get completely demolished by the effect. So here I'm just I pull stasis here to buy myself some time to build some more. Maybe not. In this case, I'm just taking out the webway gate, so I don't have to deal with their speed and movement. Oh, there we go. There's my. These Banshees, enforcing them. Alright, so as for my choice of Wraith Knight Taldir, I am not a huge fan of Wraith Knight Taldir. I would take just the regular Wraith Knight in pretty much every situation, but I want to level it up because it has a sweet ability for Howling Banshees, which I completely neglect to use this game because I'm being stubborn about my Guardians. Because I can pretty much lose them all day and still inflict decent losses and play for time as long as possible. Because right now, he's got Striking Scorpions and Mock out. He's 5 elite points down. I'm only 3 down. If I can control this elite point generator and get up to 9, I can do a huge push and win the game. Now, looking at power, I still haven't built my second power node. This is fine, generally, because it costs a lot of... It costs like a non-trivial amount of requisition in order to make these power generators, and I need so much requisition not to just like fall over and die to all this pressure that he's putting on me. Okay, so here I got Maka just sitting in the fog waiting for Banshees to show up so I can obliterate them. It's tempting to blow her nuke combo, throwing the spear and detonating the Psychoblast on top of these Striking Scorpions, but that's not going to be maximum effect. It's going to be getting rid of these Banshees so they can't tie up my Guardians in melee. If I can get rid of one melee troop, then I can kite the other one. We could have a winning strategy. I've got these Banshees in this bunker. It's like kind of dumb. I just paranoid of backcapping, but as you can see, he's just throwing everything down the middle. There's no real reason for it. I should have taken this point like a long time ago. Okay, so now he's coming out. I got my Banshees on top of both of them, silencing them, and I got a huge nuke there. His melee capacity is basically obliterated here. That, like, actually single-handedly wins the fight. He forgets to hit W here, but or he just goes straight for the stasis, which isn't bad, but I probably wouldn't lose all these guys, but they'd be critical. In the meantime, what am I doing? Making more Avengers. Yeah, my entire army's in that stasis, so he can't really do anything to me. He's just kind of playing for time, making reinforcements, more Banshees. Okay, so here comes Striking Scorpions. Gonna get right on top of me, and I actually have a good reaction here. I get right into the Fleet of Foot passive by this, and I reinforce my Banshees. And now these guys actually do pretty poorly against Banshees once their shields are down. And I want this guy real bad, completely neglecting these Dark Reapers and making a total mess of my Banshees. The Dark Vengeance is shooting Maka, which is, like, not great, honestly, because she has second chance and she'll probably get away. I should have been blowing up these guys first. And here I fuck up again, so I've got my spear over here. Arcane Blast, or whatever this is called, or Psyker Blast, triggers wherever the spear is, whether it be in Maka's hand or on the ground. And I assumed the spear was in her hand. It was actually still on the ground where I killed all her Banshees. And I kind of blew it up for nothing. That lost a fight that I... This took me like 3 watches to figure out what the hell happened here. And I think this is what Bob Ross would call a happy accident. So you've noticed here I got my spears. Now, Maka can recall her spear with Q, and it's like a line nuke as it comes back to her. And it comes back whenever she moves out of range. And as I moved out of range, spear goes like boop, boop, right through those Banshees, they're gone. Yeah, it was hilarious, and just kind of an unexpected pickup. We're kind of back at parity again, except I don't have the elite point generator. I'm still managing to hold the line against 2 elites with just Maka, though, so that's pretty good. Here we're going to try and get this point back. That's what I love about Guardians, is if you catch them off guard, like, ability for Guardians to just blow up small troops of infantry with a good grenade is amazing. Dark Reapers, totally oblivious. You know, neither is particularly great. I'm going to try and get this point. I don't have, like, huge expectations here, but it's basically the only thing I can capitalize on. That's the thing about this game, it's so quick to recover. After you lose a battle, or after you, lose a battle, you really need to get something. So Maka's like fishing for the Guardians, doesn't know that there's not there anymore. And here I just kind of blithely walk my Guardians into Dark Reaper fire. Dark Reapers are really good against Guardians. I really don't know why I still have Guardians. Like, the idea is to use grenades, like, knock them out of their setup and capitalize on that. But if they get the drop on me, they're, like, AoE, like, anti-everything damage. Just, like, splats these guys. Fortunately, I didn't lose any squads, just some models and a bunch of shields. Shields do recover faster under WH40K gates, but it takes some time still. That's sort of what's going on here. He just made an infinity portal, and I'm still worrying about his infantry. This is really bad, because this is where my lack of power is kind of biting me in the ass, because I need 250 power to hit tier 2, and I just hit it now. Oh, moved a whole bunch of Dark Reapers there, which I completely missed. The other Maka is not super great about using Psyker Blasts. That's really a huge part of what kept me in the game here. Just another spear flying back for no reason. Trying to take out these WH40K gates because the increased speed that gives units is, like, very important. And here I fuck up again. Just going, like, super hard on that portal. Losing Maka. Maka's completely surrounded by melee units. Physically cannot walk out of there, so what I should have done was throw a grenade on there. Bit too light in order to walk out, but it's kind of hard to make those plays in the heat moment. I'm making a Falcon Grav Tank because I see he's going hard on infantry and nothing he has will really do too much about it, but I've completely neglected to account for the Infinity Portal and the Wraith Guard, which will make a complete mess of this Grav Tank. So I'm thinking, alright, got my Falcon almost ready, got Guardians, I can handle pretty much everything he's got right now.
A falcon answers the call.
This many Guardians, the Striking Scorpions would be no match for it. And then there are the frickin' Wraith Guard. I can do absolutely nothing against them with my current army comp because they've got heavy armor, and all I've got is normal damage. Including this Falcon tank, which looks like it should do heavy damage, but it doesn't. Pretty much throw those Guardians under the bus in order to get the rest out. That's just the way it is. Building like a really cheeky WH40K gate here, because I thought I was going to have better control of this area before I saw the Wraith Guard. What am I doing now? I'm doing the knee-jerk reaction of unlocking Shadow Specters.
A listening shrine is in peril. Think of it no more.
And dealing with these Striking Scorpions not super well. Could have benefited from one more, Striking Scorpions, or just overall better micro. Not that it really matters, because I'm losing this point anyways. Pretty much just lost these Guardians for nothing.
WH40K gate in transit. We have lost an elite point generator.
Got like no strategy to deal with these yet, though I can start putting out some Specters.
We have lost a resource point.
Now, Specters are really good against skimmers, and they're alright against vehicles. They've got really good range and very consistent damage, but they have so little health, and they're actually just kind of really finicky to control. That, like, if they deal more damage over time as their beam focuses on a target, and if you get out of range and break the channel, then you kind of have to start from scratch. So in the heat of a battle, things can get like really chaotic. I've got some Banshees here. They're like already against Wraithguard because at least they can tie them up, and I can like something else here. Here I actually panic. I saw the particle and I thought that he was using a different doctrine that gave his Wraithguard normal damage and would just completely make a mess of these guys. But that was just me kind of panicking, and this is otherwise fine. So I've got now I've got the Shadow Spectres, but he's not attacking me right now, so I should be doing something with these guys to capitalize on them now. So these guys are also actually really good at just taking out shield generators when opponent isn't paying attention. Those guys are gonna barbecue that. I'm gonna turn off this fog over.
The Avenger Shrine shall send its warriors.
So I actually completely did not respect how little Archangel actually had here. Like, I can't deal with the Wraithguard, but I've actually got superior army here. Barring the elites. But we're surviving. Okay, so this is huge, because getting that shield generator puts me at 9 elite points, and now we get the big guy. Now this is basically the core of my strategy, is making basically a timed push as soon as I hit 9 elite points. Now I got Mac on the field, I got basically everything I need to win the game, because this guy's just going to make a mess of Wraithguard if he encounters them. Here, I leave these Banshees behind because I don't really micro too well with large numbers of units. I don't really need the Banshees for what I'm doing here, because pretty much I'm just going to walk Taldir up here. And then these guys are just going to support with crowd control with the grenades. These Banshees are pretty much just here to slow down the enemy and, you know, just cause confusion. So yeah, Banshees chicken out, Striking Scorpions come in. I'm not focusing on the Banshees really. I got like Falcon here to buy some time, but I've taken out the turret, and I'm pretty much walking in here unchecked.
The Eldar foe cast a potent power.
But now we got Eldritch Storm, which basically ruins this entire push. Also these Wraithguard, I did not respect how many Wraithguard would be in his base at the moment. Taldir went taking a ton of damage. Nice crit though, wipes out their shields. Taking out this squad's like pretty handily, but Taldir's shields are gone, and her health starts going down real fast once her shields are out. And he makes his power core invulnerable. Nothing I can do really about that. I kind of get cocky here and think that I can take on this army. Banshees silence me and blind Taldir. That's a huge pain in the ass. And then comes the volley of Wraithguard fire. And I should be dead. I should be super, super dead. But I knock down those guys, and then the Striking Scorpions don't have enough range to take it out. And Taldir gets away with what, like 23 health. Literally nothing.
Power reserves show a surplus.
Literally just forgot about Maka because I'm so intent on getting Taldir out of here, because if I lose Taldir, I've got it. I don't even know why this Falcon took damage. I don't know what happened. Taldir is going to repair, and let's see here. I've got a ton of resources, but I don't really have production buildings.
Our devotion is total.
What are you going to do? Make another warrior portal, try and spend this requisition. But he's got Wraith Blades, he's got Wraithguard, and Taldir's not super well equipped to handle that stuff alone. Needs support to take the fire off of her. But these Wraithguard are pushing up now. I don't have any Shadow Spectres, because Shadow Spectres by themselves are pretty shit. They're so fragile, like, Wraithguard can pretty much beat them up just trading with them. Okay, so here I've got to make a decision. I've got a shit ton of armor, I've got all those elites coming down the middle, and I've just got basically Taldir and some Guardians. Just playing for as much time as possible to heal up. Got this tank I'm just completely neglecting to use casually. Use one of my portals. Can't create units pretty much, except for this one thing. Let's play Taldir. stasis those guys. Take a ton of damage from the Wraith Guards. Probably should have stasis those guys first. Doing it now.
Tier 3 has been attained. Release the storm's fury.
And I think I can't win this fight. I've got nothing left. Can't give up yet. So, cut off their
Current power is more than
attempt to chase with the Eldritch Storm. Forget about it entirely. And we're running for the base because their power core thing's on cooldown, and Wraith Guard are super slow, and they're not going to be able to run back in time. Going for the power core. There are Wraith Guards there.
enemy contact. Northwest of your position. We've lost a grav
Take down their shields, and huge critical strike. Gets all three of them. Taldir's on 200 hit points,
A listening shrine is in peril.
and casually wiping out my base. Doesn't seem to be paying attention to what's going on back home. Not that he'd be able to get back in time anyways. That's the ball game. And don't have the game stats there, but I lost twice as many units as my opponent. He was probably the better player, but he was not keeping an eye back at home and did not respect how quickly Taldir could wipe out a base.